And each one of us here is extremely privileged to be here at this experience, here in Peru. The percentage of people that can do this financially is very small. And then from that, the percentage of people who choose to do it is minute. So for some reason, each one of you has decided to take on this experience. You were drawn to it for many different reasons: to travel, to help, to meet new people, for something. With this experience, now what do you do with it? Where do you take this experience? People of somewhat privilege, what role do they play after something like this? And you're not going home tomorrow, so you can also look at it, what role do you play over the next few days with this privilege that you have? To get into this talk, I want to share a little bit about a few questions that I heard about, who is Solidarity in Action? How do we start? But I want to talk more about, how I was placed with an experience. I had an experience, and with that experience, responsibility came, and I was faced with there was a time in my life where I had to make a crucial decision. And that decision, I can tell from personal experience, is something that has impacted me tremendously, and to many people around me who I've been fortunate enough to connect with. You may have heard the Solidarity in Action story, but it started in 2005. My brother Angus and I were at Brock. I was studying my first year of university, and Angus was completing his final year. And Angus was going to Peru. I was the younger brother, and there were 5 years difference between us. And I just had a very interesting first year. First time I'd been away from home. To your imagination go to only certain levels. But certainly, freedom was a luxury for the first time. And he was going to Peru, and then I guess gradually he heard me say things like, I'm going to Peru. And I would say, that's great. But he could tell that I was feeling left out. So he just one day said, why didn't you come to Peru with me? I had no expectation, to be honest. Just gonna go with my brother and another 20 students to Peru. I didn't go to any of the information sessions. I just came, it was gonna be great. I'm a young university student, I'm gonna make all the friends, and people are gonna think I'm so funny and all of that. Very superficial. But there I was. And after that experience, in Peru, about an hour away from here, just interacting with the community and finding something within myself that I didn't realize existed. Because as a university student and as a high school student, what I had to contribute I was never really aware of. I just had this feeling that I was going to be different in some way. I had no idea how. But if you look at my behavior, you would think different, perhaps in the wrong way. Perhaps not staying on a path that's going to be very effective. But in Peru, people started telling me things like, Larry, you have a lot to offer. And the people that I worked alongside in the community could maybe feel that I was contributing. And that was an amazing experience for me. Because I finally felt, perhaps like what you felt, Anna, that this is where I need to be. I need to be doing this, and I have value here. So that was what started the program. 7 of us, we went home with similar experiences, motivated to continue to give other people the opportunity to travel and to find this amazing emotion and to learn about ourselves and to really realize that we have something to contribute to the world and that we have a responsibility to contribute to the world. So from about 2005 to 2009, we were gradually growing, and by 2009 we had merged the Brock University program and the Solidarity in Action program, which had come out of that office, together, and we ran programs, and we ran 7 programs for 150 participants. At the end, we were a board of 7 people, and at the end of 2009, two crucial board members stepped down. And we just watched as one board member after another stepped away, stepped away, stepped away. I was 22 at the time, just about to finish my final year in university, and I had decided to extend my stay in Peru to lead the final group in September and to forego my studies for the semester because I was going to work full-time for Solidarity in Action. But suddenly, we only had 3 board members, and we just watched as our participants who were so full of the experience, wanting to return, just stepped away. And we watched the numbers just dwindle, our partnerships disappear, universities step away, and we had to start making a bit of a decision. We decided to try and figure out what the reality was of organization, how healthy was the organization, how many people were interested in this program as it was at that time. So we called a meeting, and we invited everyone that had been on the program, our leaders, to join us. We had the meeting at my brother's home. My mom and dad were there, they cooked a nice meal, and we sat there with the door open, and we waited. And we waited, and no one showed up. It was me, my brother Angus, and a third board member, and Angus's wife, and then my family, my sister, my mom, and my dad. And we sat around that table, and we, at that moment, had to decide, and we could easily walk away. Everyone had walked away. And we had just been in the community for a few years. We didn't have the relationships that we have now with Pacifico de Villa. No one would have, the students that we had already impacted deeply had already left. So we could step away, I could go back to Brock, finish my degree. But at that moment, we decided to move ahead. And over the next few months, I thought a lot more about that decision. And I had to think, well, now you're left with running this organization entirely by yourself at age 22. When I went to my first program, I did not think that would be the case. I did not think in 3 years or 4 years' time that I would be asked to lead an organization working in a developing country in a different language. But I had realized that there were people who needed me. And I also realized that this is where my heart lay. And I was born to do this. And I had that desire and that motivation to do it. So, through very challenging few months, alongside an extremely supportive family, my sister coming home late at night to talk to me about projects, my parents letting our cousins, our aunts and uncles know about what's going on, and having phone calls from my 94-year-old grandpa, who only phones during birthdays, or phones every Sunday, and I pick up the phone and we'll have a quick chat. Phoning to say, how's Larry, what's Larry doing? Is he moving ahead with this? And we just charged ahead with this passion, this drive to continue to assist others. So now for each one of you, I don't know how this story sounds, I don't know what it makes you feel, what it makes you think about, but each one of you knows that you are very special individuals, that you are very capable. You've either been successful in your career, as teachers, or just in university. Whatever it is that you've done, you've obviously had a certain level of success. And that's wonderful. But part of the Solidarity in Action program is not just for you to just come down and to give at this moment and to learn about yourself and to leave feeling inspired and motivated and feeling content about this experience and feeling that this is where you are supposed to be. Joining this program leads to responsibility. And making the decision to come on this program, whether or not you realized it, you entered into a decision. Now, not by any stretch of imagination are you forced to say yes to this or no, but it's there for you. You guys have the opportunity to decide what you want to do with this experience. You can do anything that you desire, that you want to do. So if there's any part of you that has ever thought of trying something new or jumping into a challenge, really challenging yourself to become a person that shapes the world around you, just a tinge, then embrace it. And embrace it wholeheartedly, with everything that you have, and enjoy the adventure. When I came on the program in 2005, I just stumbled upon it. I had no reason to be on that program other than my brother was there. So it was a small thing. It wasn't a calculated decision. But just by taking that small decision, put forward a number of steps that would end up changing my life tremendously. And again, it's something that is so amazing to be able to live out your life every single day, to try and be the most amazing person, to touch as many people as you can. It's the most exciting adventure. It's life that I would choose over and over again. And I invite each one of you to join me in whatever that means, in whatever adventure, desire that is that you choose. And it's not just for you, who will be deeply impacted by that, but it's about those around you. It's your family, it's your friends, it's the people you haven't met yet, the communities, your students. If you truly take that decision and make that decision, and I'm sure a number of you have already started that decision, then everyone around you will be so much better off. And SIA doesn't talk about challenges and problems in the world. We don't talk about that. We just live our day-to-day life trying